Hello and welcome to The Professionals. The accountant's business and financial advisors, Kreston Reeves, has launched a new marketing and business development campaign. It's called Shaping Your Future, and it is designed to help businesses, charities, and individuals navigate the next 18 months. I'm thrilled to be joined by Helen Bogie, the Marketing and Business Development Director at Kreston Reeves, who's kindly agreed to give us a brief insight into this campaign. Helen, welcome to The Professionals.
Thank you very much, Matt, for that very welcoming speech that you just gave. Good to join you today.
The first question I thought, Helen, to put to you is why introduce this campaign now, and perhaps give us a brief flavour of what the campaign is going to be looking at.
Okay, well, I came into Kreston Reeves at the beginning of 2021. And one of the reasons that I came in is because I have worked both in business development and marketing. And the firm wanted to move from doing a lot of marketing and not a lot of business development to recognising that marketing breeds opportunities for business development and joining us together. So when I first came in, first thing I did was look at all of the business plans across the service lines and the product lines. And I recognised very quickly that there were a lot of synergies as to the target markets that they wanted to speak to. And I felt that the markets we market to are very time poor. People want to have that guidance, but they want us to have a joined up conversation with them. And so that's where the embryo of this campaign came together. Let's have a joined up approach on how we speak to our marketplace. And why now? Well, we've done some research from January last year that showed us people are looking for opportunities. People's perspective is changing. There are opportunities out there that they need guidance on. People may not spot the opportunities. They may have a war chest at home that they're looking to invest, or they just need to have that helping hand. And so this was the time where we felt it was right to strike and to show we can give that guidance and we can do it in a joined up way.
Fantastic. The overarching, the title of the campaign is Shaping Your Future. But how would you describe the overarching aim of the campaign, and how does Kreston Reeves help businesses and individuals and charities shape their future?
That's a really good question. What we're trying to do is to make sure that clients can have an opportunity to review the shape that they are in at the moment, and shapes can always change. And so they may want to have a slightly different shape. It might be larger, it might be smaller, it might be a very different shape. We wanted to have that fluidity, and that's why we chose this title of Shaping Your Future. And we want to be forward-looking. We take lessons from the past and we use them to drive forward how we're going to move, both as an individual, as a charity, or as a business. As our business, we want to make sure that the client is at the heart of our business. And we want to make sure that we are sending out focused and relevant content. So we needed to build a campaign that had continuous touch points where we were always able to go and talk to our clients or get feedback from our clients, and they could tell us what they wanted to hear about. We know that different sectors are in different states at the moment, and we want to take learnings from one sector to another. And that's where this fluidity and follow through comes in.
I think it's really quite exciting. And I've seen some of the research that you've kicked off the campaign with and the initial report. And it's quite ambitious, isn't it, to have a campaign that's going to run for quite a long period of time, 18 months, possibly more. How do you envisage the campaign sort of developing and rolling out? How will you create those touch points?
Well, we have a programme of surveys, so we'll be doing large surveys on a half-yearly basis, but looking at slightly different angles of the marketplace. We are also making sure that we've got call to actions in our advertising so we can see what is being picked up well. The theme goes through all of our marketing mix. So it's on all our social posts. We're undertaking forums, we're doing webinars, and we're doing pulse surveys regularly. So there will be surveys in any newsletters that we send out. We will do a poll in any webinar that we're doing, and we take that learning and that feedback from those people who are engaging, and that helps us form the content going forward. We're also taking the opportunities that come into our business of people engaging with all of that content and feeding that back through to our service line providers, the practitioners within our business, to go out there and talk to their clients or talk to new prospects. And we're hoping to capture all of those learnings in a monthly editorial team, so to speak, so that we can see if there's some new trends or threads that are coming through that we want to explore.
It's really interesting, Helen, isn't it, how professional services firms are moving to a much more campaign-led approach to their marketing and business development. I just wonder if you've got any thoughts on why that might be.
I think what professional services have started to do more is to learn from other sectors and how they reach out to their marketplaces and how they stay in touch and how they become, for example, a well-known brand in people's lifestyles that people will always go back to. As a professional service provider, you always want to have that trusted advisor status. And to do so, you need to have regular contact with your clients, but it needs to be relevant. So the idea of having an ongoing campaign flows nicely into that. You'll have the sort of day-to-day content which is pushed out there that people will engage with, and then every now and then you'll have another big push of some new content or a bigger theme that has risen up. So it gives you that familiarity and the continuity, which can actually bring better relationships for us as a business with people that we serve.
Moving on, the next question I wanted to ask is, with a campaign that is going to run for so long, the internal audience in any firm is absolutely critical. How are you engaging your internal audience, and how do you keep them enthused for such a long period of time?
Well, as I said right at the beginning, the internal audience had their business plans that they wanted to deliver, and part of it was marketing and business development. But they struggle with how to do that, or they struggle with finding the time to do that. By finding these synergies within the different service lines and enabling that sort of cross-selling piece, you're actually helping to deliver their objectives in a timely and efficient way. So that in one way brings them into the engagement. We are undertaking regular editorial meetings, as I said, on a monthly basis. So we're taking soundings from them. When we're developing surveys, we will be asking them, are there any particular questions that they want to be asking? So we're involving touch points for all of them, and we're feeding back the opportunities for them to speak to their clients to all of them. So that helps to keep them engaged, and it helps to help them develop their relationships.
Fantastic. Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's perhaps a little bit too early. I mean, the campaign's in its infancy, isn't it? And it's a little bit too early to start thinking about sort of the impact it's had already. But how are you planning to measure the impact the campaign has over its lifespan?
Well, we're already starting to see engagement in mail shots, engagement on social, and we're tracking that. So marketing qualified leads, and then how many of those are turning into sales qualified leads. Mm-hmm. That, as you say, is embryonic. So we're expecting that to grow. And what I'm trying to do is to track that it is growing. We're also wanting to see which messages are working particularly well, which themes are people really engaged in. And we're starting to see some of those opportunities flow through. So, for example, we had some content in a newsletter that we sent out, which was our Charity Pathfinder newsletter. That has actually delivered a direct piece of work for us already. So we're starting to see some tangible return on investment. The bits that are going to be more interesting to measure and less easy to measure, other than direct new opportunities for work, is also the increase in our profile in our given marketplaces as well. And that will take some time to take a sounding point from where we are now and where we are in 6 months' time.
Fantastic. It sounds like, Helen, we ought to invite you back in a few months' time, maybe at midpoint in 22, to see how it's going. But thank you ever so much for joining the professionals and giving us that very brief insight into shaping your future. It really is appreciated.
Thank you very much, Matt.